In today's lecture, we are going to study about female reproductive system. What are the organs come under female reproductive system? These organs are a pair of ovary, a pair of oviduct, uterus, vagina, external genitalia also called as vulva, a pair of vestibular gland and a pair of mammary glands. We will see the first one, that is a pair of ovary, and for that we will see diagram. See, this is the diagram showing female reproductive system. Here these are the pair of ovaries. This is oviduct on both the sides, so pair of oviduct. This middle part is called as uterus. Then this is the vagina. External genitalia are not seen in the diagram, and a pair of vestibular glands are present actually here, not shown in the diagram. This is the position of vestibular glands at the position of vestibule, that is the opening of vagina to the exterior, and mammary glands are present in the region of pectoral girdle towards the ventral side. So now we are going to see about the ovary first. These are the ovaries. This is one and this is second. So a pair of ovary is present. We will see the position of ovary, where these ovaries are situated. It is situated in the upper lateral part of the pelvis near the kidneys. So what is the meaning of upper lateral part of the pelvis? We will see another diagram. In this diagram you can see this is the female body. This is the part of female body. This part is called as pelvis region. In the pelvis region towards the upper side, this much part is the pelvis. So it is situated towards the upper border of the pelvis and towards the lateral sides. This is the exact position of ovaries, and here near to the kidney. Here kidneys are situated. Later on we have to see how the system is supported. The whole female reproductive system is supported by which structure? This ovary is supported by these ovarian ligaments. Here these two are the ovarian ligaments. It is labeled here. Function of ovarian ligament is to provide attachment of the ovary to the uterus. Then this ovary, this fallopian tube also called as oviduct, this complete uterus, it is attached to the dorsal body wall. What is dorsal body wall? That means towards the back side. So the complete system is attached to the dorsal body wall with the help of this ligament, which is the largest of all, is called as broad ligament. Okay, so what we have studied? We have seen the position of these ovaries, where it is towards the upper lateral side of the pelvis. We can also say that it is situated below the fallopian tube, and one ovary on either side of the uterus. This is uterus. So one of the ovary towards one side and other towards the second side. So position of ovary is studied, as well as how it is supported. It is because of ovarian ligament, and second is because of the broad ligament, which is the largest of all ligaments. And this ligament is made up of what? It is made up of peritoneum. Then we have to study about the hormones which are secreted by ovary. These hormones secreted by ovary are estrogen, second progesterone, third relaxin, fourth one inhibin, and the fifth one is activin. We have studied all these hormones, their roles in the topic hormonal coordination. Once again we are going to repeat about the roles of these hormones. We will see the estrogen first. It is concerned with development of secondary sexual characters. Second hormone, progesterone, which is secreted by this corpus luteum. What is the function of corpus luteum? To maintain this level, this layer of the uterus, inner layer of the uterus, which is called as endometrium, which provide support to the developing embryo during pregnancy. In one sentence we can say that corpus luteum secretes progesterone, which maintains the pregnancy. Third hormone is relaxin. It is required during parturition. Parturition means what? During childbirth. What's the function? It relaxes the ligament in the pelvis region and it soften and widen the cervix. This is the cervix region. So softening and widening takes place, and because of that childbirth can take place easily. Next hormone is inhibin. Function of this inhibin is to inhibit secretion of FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, which is secreted by anterior pituitary. And the last hormone, activin. Function of activin is to increase FSH binding and FSH induced aromatization, and it also stimulates action of luteinizing hormone. Okay, so this is about the functions of the hormones which are secreted by the ovary. Remember that 5 hormones are secreted by ovary: estrogen, progesterone, relaxin, activin and inhibin. Now we are going to study about the next part of the system, that is fallopian tube. This fallopian tube also called as oviduct. See in the diagram, this duct-like structure is called as fallopian tube. Here this side also, this is the fallopian tube. We'll see the position first. It is present in peritoneal cavity. In the peritoneal cavity it is seen above the ovary. We'll see the structure of fallopian tube now. This fallopian tube, it consists of 3 parts. This funnel-like part is called as infundibulum. Okay, so first part, infundibulum. This is called as proximal part. This proximal part is infundibulum, and this infundibulum, it consists of an opening here which is called as ostium, and through this ostium the ovum can enter the fallopian tube by what? Here this finger-like projections are seen. These finger-like projections are called as fimbriae. See in this diagram towards that side, this is the ovary, and this fimbriae of the fallopian tube are seen. What are this? These are finger-like projections. What is the function of these finger-like projections here? They show beating action, and because of that the ovum which is released into the abdominal cavity, you can see here, this is newly discharged ovum. So the ovum which is discharged into the cavity, because of action of fimbriae, it moves towards the fallopian tube, and through the ostium it can enter into the fallopian tube. So remember, this fallopian tube or oviduct consists of 3 parts. Which are the 3 parts? This is called as infundibulum. This middle part is called as ampulla. This middle part becomes ampulla, and this last part is called as isthmus. So these are 3 parts. Once again we will see, infundibulum is funnel-like structure with an opening ostium, and this is the finger-like projections called as fimbriae. Remember that at least one of the fimbriae is long and is found attached to the ovary, and interior of this fallopian tube is lined by ciliated epithelium. So once the ovum enters the fallopian tube, because of action of cilia, it can move towards the isthmus, towards the uterus. Ampulla, what is ampulla? It is the middle region. What is the importance of this ampulla? It is the site for fertilization. Here fertilization can take place. And what is this isthmus? It is the distal narrow part. This is distal narrow part which opens into the uterus here. So this part proximal, and this region is called as distal region. So this is the fallopian tube, it details. Now we are going to see the uterus. What is this uterus? You see in the diagram, this complete inverted pear-like structure is called as uterus. Up to this here, this is uterus, also called as womb. Why it is the womb? Because the development of the embryo, it takes place inside the uterus. Now we will see the details. This uterus, it also consists of 3 parts. Upper part is called as fundus. This much part is the fundus. This middle part is called as body or the corpus, and this lowermost part is called as cervix. What is this? We will see the fundus first. It is upper dome-like structure. Middle part is called as body, and the third part is called as cervix. Observe the diagram. I'll explain it again. So the part of uterus are, upper part is called as body or fundus, where the implantation of the embryo takes place. What's the meaning of implantation? Here the embryo which is get formed, it is get attached to the wall of uterus here. So this is the normal site of implantation. So the embryo will get buried deep into the wall of endometrium here for the further fertilization, for the further development. This middle broad part, it is called as body, which becomes narrow towards the lower side, Third one is called as cervix. It is narrow neck, about 2.5 centimeter in length, and it extends into the vagina. This cervix, it extends into the vagina. It consists of two openings, an internal os towards the body and external os towards the vagina. So there will be internal os towards this side and external os towards the side of vagina. Now we will see about the details of this uterus. It is made up of which material? You can see that this uterus, it is an inverted pear-like structure which is hollow internally. In the other diagram, we will see the details of this uterus here. Structural details. This middle part, inverted in pear-like structure. This outermost layer, it is called as perimetrium. Remember that the cursor which is moving here, it is for the outer wall of uterus, which is called as perimetrium. Then it consists of this middle thick layer. Here this fibrous thick layer is visible, and that is called as myometrium. So perimetrium, endometrium and myometrium are the three parts. See the diagram properly. Perimetrium is the outermost layer. Middle layer is called as myometrium, which is made up of smooth muscles, and the innermost layer is of endometrium, which shows presence of various type of glands and richly supplied with the blood vessels. Here this endometrium layer, remember and see it carefully. The layer of endometrium undergoes cyclic changes during menstrual period. So endometrium is the important layer, and second one is this middle layer becomes the myometrium, made up of muscles, and these muscles, they show vigorous contraction during labor, during parturition, that means during childbirth. Then as I said, this endometrium, layer of endometrium, which is made up of glands and richly supplied with blood vessels. It consists of here this mucosal membrane towards the inner side. It also consists of your stratified epithelium. What's the meaning of stratified epithelium? Strata for layer. That means many layers of the cells are present in the region of endometrium. So this is about the organ uterus. What we have studied about uterus? This uterus, it also consists of three parts. Body of the uterus means the fundus. This upper part is called as fundus of the uterus. This middle part is called as body of the uterus, and this lower part is called as cervix. Okay. So this is for the uterus. Then about the structural details of uterus. Outer layer is called as perimetrium. Middle is myometrium. Inner one is called as endometrium. Function of myometrium is to show strong contraction relaxation during labor or during parturition, and the layer of endometrium consisting of stratified epithelium, mucosal membrane, and it is richly supplied with blood vessels. It undergoes cyclic changes in case of females during the menstrual cycle. Okay, so this is about the uterus, second part. Now we are going to see about the last part of the system, which is called as vagina. Last part of the internal reproductive organs. What is it? It is a tubular copulatory organ. In case of males, penis is the copulatory organs, and in case of females, this vagina is a copulatory organ. Where it is situated, it lies between the cervix and the vestibule. Where it is cervix, this is the cervix. This part is called as cervix, and here this is the vagina, and this is here, in this region the opening is present, which is called as vestibule. It is the exterior opening. So vagina lies between cervix and vestibule. Then what is the wall of this vagina? We will see about the wall of vagina. It has inner mucosal lining towards the inner side here. Towards the inner side, mucosal lining is present. This wall is made up of smooth muscle fibers, and outer layer, which is called as adventitia layer. Remember that the inner mucosa epithelium, this inner layer which is made up of mucosa, this inner layer, it is mucosal layer. It is stratified. What's the meaning of stratified? Consisting of many layers of cells. It is non-keratinized and it stores glycogen. What is glycogen? Glycogen is the stored form of glucose. Remember that in the region of vagina, glands are not present at all. Here in the region of vagina, glands are not present. From where mucus is received? Mucus is secreted in the cervical region, in the cervix region here. And from cervix, this mucus will spread into the region of vagina. Now, vaginal orifice means what? Orifice means the opening. This is vaginal orifice. In case of females, it is covered with a membrane which is called as hymen. And what is the function of this vagina? It acts as a duct or a passage for menstrual flow. During menstrual cycle, what happens? This layer of endometrium, it breaks, and this, after the breaking, this material will comes out through cervix into the vagina and to the exterior. So through vagina, it is a passage for menstrual flow, as well as it acts as birth canal. That means development of the young one takes place here, and after the completion of gestation period, this young one, it passes through this cervix and through the vagina, and that is called as parturition or the birth canal. Now we have to see about the external genitalia in the diagram. It is not seen. You have to study it theoretically. This external genitalia, also called as vulva, also called as pudendum, having the parts like vestibule, labia minora, clitoris, labia majora, and mons pubis. What is vestibule? As before I said, vestibule is the opening. It is the median vertical depression of vulva enclosing urethral and vaginal opening, means this region, it becomes the vestibule here. What is labia minora? They are the thin folds of skin present inner to labia majora. See, I said labia majora and labia minora are the skin fold. Majora are the bigger one, minora are the smaller one. So this labia minora, they merge posteriorly with the labia majora and form fourchette. And towards the anterior side, they form a hood-like covering around the clitoris. So labia minora forming fourchette and hood-like covering over the clitoris. What is clitoris? It is a small conical sensitive projection which lying at the anterior end of labia minora. Remember that it is homologous to the penis in case of males, and it consists of a pair of erectile tissue which is called as corpora cavernosa. We have studied that corpora cavernosa is found in case of males inside the penis, and hence it becomes homologous to penis. What do you mean by word homologous? Homologous structure means which are structurally similar and functionally dissimilar. Next is labia majora. It is a pair of fleshy folds of skin. Remember that it is homologous to scrotum. What is scrotum? Scrotum is seen in case of males, in which the testes lies. So structurally labia majora and scrotum are similar, but functionally these are dissimilar. What is mons pubis? It is a fleshy elevation above the labia majora and it is covered with pubic hair. Okay, so this is all about this system, including external genitalia. Then we have to study about accessory glands. What are the accessory glands? As we have seen before, a pair of vestibular gland and a pair of mammary glands are present. Vestibular glands and mammary glands. These vestibular glands are also called as Bartholin glands. What will be the position? They are present here in the region of vestibule. These vestibular glands are homologous to bulbourethral or Cowper's glands. We have seen Cowper's glands also in case of males. And what is the function? It also secretes lubricating fluid. Then we are going to see about mammary glands. Mammary glands, as I said, are situated in the pectoral region. We will see the diagram for the detailed structure of this mammary gland. See, this is the structure of mammary gland. These mammary glands, they are the pair of rounded structures present in subcutaneous tissue of anterior thorax in the pectoral region. What's the meaning of subcutaneous? Situated below the skin. So remember, the position can be asked for 1 mark. Exact position is between 2nd to 6th rib. Now we'll see the detail of these mammary glands. Remember that it is a modified Sweat gland. Modified Sweat gland can be asked in MCQ for 1 mark. Then we are going to study about its structure. See, it shows presence of fatty tissue. We'll see the diagram here. Here the fatty tissue means this yellow structure which is shown here. This is pectoral fat pad. This is so it consists of fatty tissue. Secondly, it consists of many lactiferous ducts. You can see here, these are the lactiferous ducts here. All purple color are the lactiferous duct. Then it consists of glandular tissue. Which are the glandular tissue? This purple colored lobe-like structures are seen. It becomes the glandular structure. What these glandular structures? It consists of these lobes which are also called as alveoli. So glandular structure contains mammary lobes. And these mammary lobes consist of alveolar glands. We can say the alveoli or the sac-like structures are seen. So these alveolar sac-like structures are seen. These alveoli or the sac-like structures, its function is to secrete milk. Okay, so these alveoli, it will open into these ducts. All these will open into the ducts which are called as lactiferous ducts. Function is to secrete milk which is stored in alveoli. Alveoli opens into mammary ducts or the mammary tubules, and tubules of each lobe join to form mammary duct, and all mammary duct, many of the mammary duct join together to form mammary ampulla. You can see here this ampullae-like structure, this capsule or the ampullae-like structure. These ampullae-like structures are called as mammary ampulla, and these ampullae are connected to the lactiferous ducts. So the function of this alveoli is to secrete milk. This milk stored in alveoli, they pass through the ducts into the ampulla, and from ampulla it goes to the lactiferous ducts, and from lactiferous duct it will be given into the outer one. Now what is this areola? This areola is the colored portion of the mammary gland. So this, it consists of, here you can see the nipple, and around the nipple, or we can say nipple is surrounded by dark brown colored and circular area of the skin, which is called as areola. Here this is the areola. So what we have seen here in this mammary glands, this fatty tissue, these lactiferous ducts, these are the secretory glands having sac-like structure called as alveolus. Alveolus are the milk secreting structure. It is stored here in the alveolus, and whenever required it will pass through this duct into the ampulla, and through that to the lactiferous duct, and through nipple it will be sucked by the young one, and this areola is the colored portion around this nipple. Okay, so this is all about mammary gland. Note can be asked for 2 marks on this mammary gland. Now, how these mammary glands are controlled. Development of mammary gland occurs at puberty. Which hormone is responsible? Hormone responsible for development of mammary glands are estrogen and progesterone, as we have studied before. One more hormone, lactotropic hormone called as LTH or prolactin. It helps in development of lactiferous tubules. Here these lactiferous tubules are there, and their development is under the control of hormone prolactin or LTH or lactotropic hormone. So remember, development of mammary glands and development of lactiferous tubule is under the control of 2 different hormones. So what we have studied today? We have studied about female reproductive system. We'll see this. We were started with this female reproductive system. This female reproductive system having 2 ovaries. These 2 ovaries situated in upper border of the pelvis. We can also say that situated below the fallopian tube, and one on either side of the uterus. These ovaries are supported by this broad ligament and ovarian ligament. What is ovary? It is the primary sex organ as concerned with formation of egg or formation of ovum. Second part, fallopian tube having 3 parts. This infundibulum, this ampulla, this isthmus. Characteristic feature of infundibulum consists of these finger-like projections called as fimbriae. Opening is present here, which is called as ostium. For what purpose? The released ovum can move towards the fallopian tube through this action of fimbriae, and because of ciliated epithelial cells which are present in the fallopian tube. Ampulla, site for fertilization, and isthmus will open into the uterus. Uterus also have 3 parts, upper part fundus, body, cervix. Structurally, outer layer is called as peritoneum, middle layer is made up of smooth muscle fibers called as myometrium, and this is the endometrium. Okay, so 3 parts and 3 layers in the wall of this uterus. And what is the function? Implantation and the development of embryo. Cervix opens into the vagina. Vagina present between cervix and this vestibule. Function of vagina is what? Acts as birth canal as well as passage for the flow of menstrual fluid. Then we have seen about vestibular glands will be present here. Mammary glands we have studied present in the pectoral region, and external genitalia which is called as vulva with labia majora, labia minora, clitoris and the mons pubis and vestibule. Okay. So now mammary glands we have seen complete structure in detail. What are the details of mammary glands? Having this fatty tissue, this glandular structure, having this alveolus or sac-like structure, with the lactiferous ducts, milk can come out, and this is the region of areola. Okay, so we come to the end of female reproductive system. In the next lecture, we are going to start with the TS of ovary and remaining all details.